video day, guys, and happy anti-haul day. We're gonna talk about some items that I am not going to be picking up. And I feel like this video is pretty important because when I do my virtual window shopping series, I wanted it to be similar to the Samantha March's Will I Buy It? But one of the main things I wanted it to be different was that I wanted to show you guys that I would throw these things in a virtual window shopping cart, but that doesn't technically mean I'm going to buy it because I cannot buy everything that I want. So it's more like window shopping. You go somewhere, you look around, you're like, I kind of want you, but you end up not buying it. You know, like you kind of like save it in your mind and maybe one day you'll pick it up, but you don't always buy everything. So in that video, I always tell you guys things I throw in the virtual window shopping cart, and sometimes those things never show up on the channel because at the end of the day, I liked them, but they just weren't worth paying the money for. So I want to include some anti-hauls. I don't know if it's twice a month or once a month, but to kind of like give you guys more insight on why things ended up going in the virtual window shopping cart, but just ended up staying there. So maybe we can kind of like start a narrative of talking about things and just being a little bit more conscious on why certain things maybe are not worth it, you know? I'm like kind of like intrigued by it, but at the end I ended up telling myself, you know, you just really don't need this, Christina, and I think a lot of us don't need this. So this is from Charlotte Tilbury. It's part of her new Holiday 2019 collection, and it's the Magic Star Highlighter. It's a golden highlighter with a soft focus glow, but it's $45. Now, I know Charlotte Tilbury is a luxury brand. Don't get me wrong. I know this. I know. But $45 for one highlighter. If you have a lot of different highlighters in your collection, you just have to kind of like think about it. Do I want to spend $45 on one that I may not use that often? And 45 is not that extreme of a price jump from like let's say Becca and stuff, which I think they're like 30 something. But at the same time, when I see that number, I'm like, oh my God, an entire Anastasia palette could be 45, and you're getting a lot of colors in there, and you're talking about eyeshadows. So when I'm looking at this, even though I think it's so beautiful, because it really is, I personally don't need. I have some beautiful highlighters. Becca makes really great highlighters. I also have some awesome highlighter palettes that come with highlighters in them, and I have colors that are similar to this. This is not anything that is life-changing. This isn't anything that's like, oh my gosh, I need you. And for the $45 price tag, if it's not something I'm going to be using a lot, I just don't feel the need to purchase it. Sometimes when it comes to highlighters, I kind of put myself on a budget. I even have a hard time purchasing Ofra highlighters because I just feel like they're just a little bit on the pricey side. They're really worth the price tag, but it's not like I'm going to go out and buy like 10 of them because I just don't want to spend that much money on highlights. I don't highlight my face like crazy, you know? So when I'm looking at this, even though it's a really pretty highlighter and I'm sure that it's going to work great, and it is Charlotte Tilbury and she has an amazing formula, totally agree, love her brand, I'm not going to spend the money on it, and it's really not calling to me, to be honest, either. It's on my anti-haul list. I'm not going to pick it up. No way. All right, so this is another palette that released from Bobbi Brown, and honestly, guys, when I first saw this, I thought, I want to pick this up. Bobbi Brown is a brand I used to really, really love to use, and I haven't really bought any of her stuff like recently. So when I saw this holiday collection, it was so pretty, and I feel like it's mostly the way that they kind of like made the shadow gems. Like, they're really cool looking, and like the appearance kind of called my attention. Now, the palette itself is $75, so that's already a pretty pricey little palette, but guys, I am not somebody to shy away from expensive palettes. I own Natasha Denona palettes. I own Pat Mcgrath palettes. I'm not shy from spending money on palettes, but like 75 is already going up there for eyeshadow. You gotta look at the colors and just really tell yourself, are you going to use these colors? And when I was looking at them and I was looking at the swatches, I said, you know, even though these look beautiful in the pan, I really do not see myself creating really beautiful looks with this palette. And for $75, I wanted to say, oh my gosh, I am so inspired by you. And I love the plum color in here, and the blue sticks out, but I don't like the way purple and blue look together. So I see like the darkest shade in here is going to be a dark plum, and the dark plum will be great for smoking out the outer edges, but then I don't like the way that blue looks with plum. So I feel like when I started to really look at this palette and kind of like break it down, I said, I don't think I need you. So let's talk about the other palette that I'm not picking up. Now, this is a palette that I did tell you guys that I was interested in picking up, and I do believe that it was in my virtual window shopping cart. I don't know if I put it there or not, but I probably did. Now this is $175 for the new Viseart Grande Pro series palette, and this is their colorful palette. What a beautiful palette to the eye. This is such a pretty palette. When I saw this release, I was like, oh, you're pretty. And I like all the colors in here, but I have to just be realistic with myself and say, I love doing really unique looks for YouTube, and I do like these really fun looks, but in reality, from day to day, sometimes I don't play with color as much. Now I do add color and I do love color, but the colors in here, I don't see myself gravitating to all the time. Now, if I was doing a lot of makeup for other people, I think I would pick up this palette because I just feel like, oh my gosh, like an artist, you know, like an artist who wants to have every single color, and this would be like on my list. And that's why it was kind of up there. But for right now, since everything's more like just me, I just don't feel like I personally am going to get the use out of this. And for $175, I can save that money and buy a few things that I will be getting a lot of use out of. I love the colors in here, and I think that they did a great job laying out the different colors and mixing them together. It's just not going to go on my list, and honestly guys, I'm not going to get the use out of it. It's just, for $175, I'm not going to use it. So I had to really convince myself on this one, but that's why I'm not going to be picking that. All right, so let's talk about this one. Now, this one is one that I feel like a lot of people have an opinion on. This is the Holiday of 2019 palettes from Pat McGrath, and you guys might have heard about these. I'm sure you have. These are the quads that she came out with. There's actually 3 of them now. There's the Nocturnal Nirvana, there's the Iconic Illumination, and there's like the Realistic Rose or Rustic Rose or something like that. So these are 3 different palettes that released from Pat McGrath. Now, I know that there was an uproar because they were $65, and I will tell you guys, I personally went. The argument is that these are all her special formula, which I will tell you guys, I own her bigger palettes, and the special formula, yes, it is beautiful. It's very different. It's not something that you see every day. The formula is different, and I feel like you need to really know that formula to really appreciate it, and you actually have to like that formula to enjoy this. And then inside of here, there also did something else, which is she put it inside of that nice container, which her bigger palettes come in. And I believe that that upped the price as well. I personally, I just kind of feel like this was not something that I really needed. I went to Sephora a few times to pick this up because at first I was like, oh my God, I need it. And then when I saw it in the store is when I kind of like really brought myself back together, and I was like, do you really need this? And I started to tell myself like, why? Like, it's pretty, it's beautiful. The formula really is great. I'm not gonna argue that. The formula is beautiful. But do I need it? And then as I was kind of like looking at them, I'm like, okay, these are like topper shades for me. I'm not going to use this whole entire palette together, and I don't think that you should. I don't think it's meant to be used that way. This is like something that you grab one of these shades and you mix it with some other shades, and that's the way it works. And when I really started like analyzing it, I was like, for $65 topper shades that I'm going to be adding sometimes to eye looks because I'm not always going to remember to grab that palette. Sometimes I'll do other eye looks and I'll think of those special shades because I want to use them with other palettes, and I'll forget to do it, you know, and I'll just use the other colors inside of the palette I'm using. I'm like, damn, didn't use that color. So I feel like this type of palette is going to end up turning into any other topper palette that I have that I forget to use it. And I was looking at them and I'm like, $65, forget to use it, is like really a lot of money. So even though I kind of really love this idea, I also kind of really don't. I would have just loved if it would have had just like one shade in there that was matte, and then all of the other ones could have been like the special formula. It would have worked a little bit better for me, and it probably would have brought the price down a little tiny bit, and it probably would have convinced me to want to buy it. And also, I didn't really need it to be in that black container that comes in the other ones, like the large black container. And I know Pat McGrath is supposed to be a luxury brand and she wanted to do it this way, but because in the past she has put her eyeshadows inside of cardboard and she's still sold for pretty expensive, I just don't see why you couldn't put it in the cardboard and just keep the price a little lower. I don't know. The only thing that I can say is that this special formula has never been sold in cardboard that I know of, so maybe it can't sit in that type of packaging and it had to be in the nicer packaging. But I am not a chemist. I have no idea. I personally just couldn't get myself around paying the $65 for the 4 shades. I almost feel like I would personally rather pay the $125 or $165? How much do I pay for her palette? I would rather pay like the $125 for a palette that has, I think it usually has like 4 special shades in it, doesn't it usually? Yeah, it's usually the last 4, and it gives you mattes and everything, and I don't know, I just rather pay the $125 than $65 for just 4. That's just me, and I am gonna stick to that. All right, and this is the last item that I'm going to be anti-hauling. So this is the Lolita palette from Kat Von D, and I will tell you guys, when I saw the swatches of it though, I started to kind of look at it and go, wait a minute, but there's so many like neutral tones in here, and even though it looks so pretty in the pan, I feel like there's stuff missing. Like I almost feel like the palette went like almost there. Like it was like kind of like pretty, and they put like really cool like center pieces, like with that silvery kind of gold looking 2 like circles, the 3 circles that have like really pretty colors, and it kind of like calls your attention. Your eyes go like straight there, but then you kind of forget about the other shades. But then when I saw the swatches, I was like, well, there's a lot of shades in here that on the lids I feel like they're gonna look very similar. So there's parts of this palette that I really like, then there's parts of this palette that I don't like. $49.50 for 18 different shades. The palette itself is not like astronomically expensive or anything. Then there's also the whole thing with Kat Von D, which I don't think I even want to get into on the channel, but I don't know. Like I usually don't like to judge brands off of the stuff that they do, off of their owners, because I don't think that their owners really like, they don't make the whole brand. There's like a team of people. There's so many people involved with a brand. There's certain things I forgive because I believe that a lot of people learn from mistakes, and I feel like everybody should forgive. But like when it comes to like kid stuff, and when it comes to certain things, and I feel like being a mom now, and like just certain things, like they really get to me. And some of the stuff that Kat Von D has said, it's hard for me to buy from her brand. And I still think she has one of the best liquid eyeliners on the market. And it's not like I would be against buying her liquid eyeliner because I just feel like it's the best. But I just don't know if I want to go out and just try new products to add more to stuff that I like until like I feel more comfortable buying from her brand again. And like right now I just don't. Whether you're on her side or you're not on her side, you know that when you're a mom, your beliefs are going to be the strongest thing for you because you think that you are doing the best for your kid no matter what your belief is. So my belief makes me kind of go against what she's saying, and I kind of get turned off by buying the palette. And I honestly don't even think it's the best thing for me to even do. Like when I look at makeup, I should just think of makeup, and I usually do. But I can't lie to you guys and be like, oh my gosh, I hate Kat Von D's makeup. I don't. I love her eyeliner. But the reason you guys don't see it that often is because I just haven't been so fond of some of the statements that she's made. So I almost feel like her level for me to want to pick something up is brought to another level. Like she has to come out with something that really makes me go, wow, in order for me to pick it up. I guess that's the best way to put it. Like I just feel like there's certain things that celebrities need to be careful with doing. And I'm like this with any celebrity and anybody who's in the public eye. Like there's just certain things you have to be careful with doing because you have an influence on people. And I feel like there's certain decisions that people just need to make for themselves. They don't need that type of influence. That is all the stuff that I'm anti-hauling. I feel like I kind of just rambled on this video a little bit too much. So usually in anti-hauls, I don't think I can like go over too many things because I do start getting like really into telling you guys why I ended up not picking things up, because there's really like a lot of reasons. It's not just like makeup to me. Like I really look into this stuff because I want to show you guys everything that I possibly can. But I have this thing in my mind that tells me like reasons why I shouldn't pick things up, and I don't just splurge, you know? So I just really want you guys to really think, you know, when you see these things, you just know that I'm not picking up everything. Like I pick up more stuff than I should on purpose to show you guys stuff. But when it comes to your own personal money, you just need to really like look at these things and think about them. So Anyways, I'm gonna have another video series that's gonna be coming up pretty soon that I think I have like an idea of what I want to do with it, that will get a little bit more in depth on, like kind of like the topic that we had today about picking makeup and deciding whether it's for you or not, but we'll get into that another day. So anyways, I hope you enjoyed the video and I will talk to you guys later.